welcome back to another episode of Off Centered. We had to push it back a week so that we could fully digest the national and all that came with it. But we are back. We've got a few things to talk about tonight. Boys, how we doing?
That's interesting terminology, given you don't have to reveal why we missed last week, but digest is an interesting term to throw out there.
I have a question.
I'll go into why we missed. I'll go into that.
The thumbnail. How many comments did you get on the thumbnail asking if we were ever coming back?
I got a lot of text about it.
Cancel until further notice or something. So it made.
Oh yeah, no, I did.
I definitely got a lot of DMs about like what happened to Off Center.
I was going to say
as well.
I'm sure you got some dramatic.
Like this shitty situation. You don't want to know.
Yeah, I just said it's Dustin being dramatic.
Yep, I was just being. That's how you got to do this thing, man.
Dustin went pure clickbait.
Yeah, for those that don't know, I almost died last week. So the guys already know this, but essentially what happened was I went in for a colonoscopy. I just turned 45. And so when you turn 45, the doctor's like, yeah, it's probably a good idea for you to get checked out. Well, I guess like I've got pretty thick skin. That's what the nurse said. They put the IV in. And so I'm all ready to go. They wheel me back to the back. And I'm already a little kind of freaked just because it's like I'm going to go under and it's like, I hope I wake up. And then I'm at the front desk and the lady's like, hey, do you have a living will? And I'm like, I don't, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll bring you back. I'm like, well, no shit. You're going to bring me back, right? I mean, come on. That's part of the deal.
It's obviously a choice.
If you need a signature for me to tell you to bring me back, then I'll sign. But
I mean, maybe Kim slipped him like a 20 or something and was like,
exactly. I don't know. I was like, I mean, the life insurance is all good. So yeah, maybe she was, I don't know. Maybe she was like trying to cash in. I don't know what happened.
She's trying to get to that Star Jordan.
She was trying to do something. So I go, I've got my IV in, I'm all ready to go. And they go and they've got the medicine to put me to sleep. And they go ahead and they put it in. And then like 10 seconds supposed to go by and you're supposed to be out. Well, nothing happened. So I'm like, hey guys, I don't feel anything. And they're like, oh, it's impact. It looks like it's impacted. Or I guess that's where, like it's the IV's not in properly. It's not in the vein right, whatever. Well, it took like 4 ladies in there, four ladies to come in and get this thing in. They finally got me in the hand. They got me in the hand.
Oh, that one's a stinger too.
Yeah.
Why would you don't have them old man veins, do you?
They were starting to get kind of panicked too. They were like, have you ever had this done in your foot? I'm like, I haven't. But at this point, you know what? Just stick me in the neck at this point. Like, just put me out, you know?
I could be a tricky stick sometimes. And they had to I had a nurse do a blood draw from between my knuckles one time like that. It was the most painful thing ever.
I've never done that.
I mean, we were at the point. We were at the point where I was just like, just hit me hard over the head and put me out, you know, let's just get this over with. The funny thing too was the doctor was in there with all the nurses and she's like, hey, are you comfortable? And I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm on my side, like your ass curled up on your side. I'm wearing an apron. Like position, you know, like the twig and berries are like jammed in there. Like, no, I'm not really.
Were you FDAU?
I'm not really. I wouldn't say I'm comfortable where I'm at. But
where's
anyway,
that content. How come we didn't get content live?
I know, really.
Still loading. Still loading. Yeah. No, it was funny though. She's like, she's like, you can have your phone out, but no pictures or video or anything. I'm like, well, yeah, obviously. It would have been kind of funny if I'd caught some of this on video. But
did you do the drink or the pills for your option on the day before?
I did the drink. It actually wasn't too bad. I've done fasting before, so that wasn't bad. But they give you kind of like the
3-gallon jug of shit that you have to drink.
They give you the stool softener. That's like the day before, and then you take the liquid stuff. And it's funny. Mm-hmm. My dad was like, you'll have about 30 minutes after you take that. And then you're going to clear everything out. So anyway, I was, it worked. It absolutely does work. But yeah, it was fine. It's funny. Once they stuck me in the hand, I could feel it immediately. It was like kind of throbbing. And I'm like, I said, it's cloudy. And then I said, it's cloudy a second time. And then I don't remember anything. And that was the best 30 minutes of sleep I've had, I think, in my entire life. They've had trouble waking me up. I'm like, guys, why'd you wake me up so early? Like, give me a little bit more time.
Yeah, I didn't. They told me to count down from 3. I think I barely got to 2. And then I woke up and I said, are we ready yet? They're like, we're done. What didn't help is like the nurse lady that was in the room with me, I guess, doing it is like smoking hot. I'm like, this first time meeting you. Of
course, that's where Hamm went. Did you get any for free? Did you get like a pen or something? Or
I should have took some pictures.
My wife said the nurse came by and hit me twice, like pretty hard in the chest because I just wasn't waking up.
I know. Warm you up, like, okay, before we get out the paddles.
Yeah, seriously.
I actually it's funny when you said that you were going in for that because I just scheduled mine right when I got back from the National in a couple months. Because I had 45 this year too.
I had that one about 10 years ago.
It was 10 years ago. Hamm, what are you, a vampire? How old are you?
I stopped aging at least 3 days ago.
Damn.
So Lou Rock.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Let's go to chat here. Kiss Homage. What's up, Danny? Actually, Danny put this up a while ago. It was like an hour ago.
Yeah, it was before the stream started.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's what it was.
What's up, really showing our cards? Age when we're opening the post-national stream talking about colonoscopy.
Exactly, I know.
Yeah. This is where you know you're old when you're talking about all your ailments and stuff. Cavs no Christmas Day game from Josh. T Fig, what's up?
T Fig,
that's the winner, man. Fig.
Tom was the winner, yeah.
Brad Noble, Lou Rock in the house.
Hold on, yeah, Lou Rock.
Michael Stone, I believe, is who this is.
Yep. It's all Lou Rock's past weekend.
All right. Probe sleep is the best. Yeah, it was something. I haven't been put under in decades, and it was.
I don't think I've gone under since I was a kid.
Yeah, same. That's what kind of freaked me out. I'm just like, I don't like it. I didn't have any wisdom teeth to take out. Never got any wisdom, so didn't have to deal with that.
I still have my wisdom teeth too.
I had mine pulled, but I didn't go out for that.
Mine never came in.
Mine came in. They when I got braces, they told me like you would never, like, unless they cause you problems, you shouldn't need to have them taken out.
Nice.
Yeah, mine were impacted.
I had one. They all came in, and one bothered me because it broke years ago, and I just had to have that one removed. But the other ones have been fine.
All right, boys. Well, we've talked about butt stuff for the first 8 minutes of the stream.
Is that how we transition in the jelly bean bounties?
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like we should go right into jelly bean at this point.
might get it over with.
It's funny. I did like a fairly routine video, and then I put jelly bean on the thumbnail, and I'm like, damn, I probably need to put jelly bean on every single thumbnail from here on out.
I'm surprised nobody's got an interview with her.
I can't speak for Neo or you, but I haven't tried yet. Has anybody tried yet?
That's DMs I'm not sliding into. I'm a happily married man.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind. Look, if it's female, fine, but like, I don't know. I don't know if it needs to be jelly bean necessarily. Where are we at with our thoughts on the national? Let's just go around a little bit. Hamm, we're 2 weeks removed now, or 10 days removed. How are you feeling about how it went? Did you buy a card?
Didn't buy a card. I bought like some other stuff, but I didn't buy a card.
How much did you make at the flea market this weekend from all the giveaways and things that you took off tables?
I did get all that stuff, but I kept it. The only thing I actually bought there was one of the national boxes that I won on EQL, which I didn't end up selling. I ended up keeping it. I'm probably going to look at doing a stream tomorrow because I got my 2 UFC boxes in. So I'm going to probably open those 2 boxes plus my Panini or my Topps box from there. But other than that, I enjoyed the show. I mean, I go there for a specific reason. The cards is what brings us all together, but I go there for the camaraderie, to do the filming, to hang out with everybody, shoot the shit, get to meet the people that you kind of just get to mess with through chats and DMs and stuff like that. And I mean, again, you go there and you might be there for 5 days, but it feels like 3. It really does. I enjoyed it. I love it, and I'm ready to go back next year.
Steve, how about for you? Now that you've digested the show.
Well, this one was way different for me because I didn't shoot any content, so I didn't have what I call pressure. To some people, content comes easy, but I didn't have the pressure of trying to find an area off to the side to shoot a little clip and getting back to the Airbnb and enough time to edit a video for the morning, or making sure I have to wake up an hour or 2 earlier than normal just to get my video out and things like that. I just kind of, I feel like I enjoyed it more from that aspect, as just going to see the cards and enjoy the event and hang out with my friends. I felt like, of course we went to the Smashing Pumpkins concert. So, just that alone was worth the trip, I feel like.
Yeah, true.
The Airbnb is always fun. This time is the first time that I rode out. Brad and I basically road tripped it out there. We stayed the night in Cincinnati the first time, and on the way back near Cincinnati, kind of a little more western Ohio, I believe. But we stopped and eat a couple times. So I didn't fly out. I saved the money, but left a day earlier. And actually, the ride was fun. Like, I enjoyed the ride and the road trip, and seeing all the states we were passing through. I don't know if it's recency bias. You come out of every national kind of saying, man, that was the best national I've ever been to. So I don't want to be like recency bias is speaking, but it was really good. I was disheartened going in. I was just in a lull in the hobby. Hadn't been doing a lot with cards. Didn't know if it was going to be worth it, which is stupid because I know that you guys are going to make it worth it. And so I'm glad that I went, and coming out of this national, again, I'm recharged. I'm looking forward to next year's. I've already started on the giveaway, which this year I really procrastinated on. I had a lot of things going on in my personal life this year that kind of set me off the rails a little bit as far as my focus. And I just had to concentrate on other things.
Steve's back.
I've already got the hotel booked for next year, which I waited all the way until like 2 or 3 months before the giveaway this year, which was stupid, but it's already booked and ready to go. And I'm ready to make this year's giveaway the best one yet. And I'm ready to go back. That's really all I can say. I don't want to sit here and talk about the good and the bad and the ugly of the show, because at the end of the day, it was a good time. So yeah, you can always find something to complain about, but is it really worth it? You know,
we will hit on quickly. There was one negative coming out of the show. I feel like we can touch on this here because Abel in Vegas brought it up here. How come the vendor did not press charges for the Mahomes card theft? So for people that might have missed this, there was a guy, looks like his name is Michael Moretti, that has been charged for, and it was really sad to watch it because it looked like it was either his son or his grandson. I'm assuming his grandson, younger kid. And they were looking at this gold. I think it was a gold refractor Mahomes, PSA 10. I think that's what it was.
Correct.
And they're on video essentially like opening up the case and just kind of quickly taking it out. And then they kind of look at it and then they pocket it and then they walk off. But it was just too bad to watch. It's one thing when you have like grown adults that take things, but then you had the kid there, which made it, I mean, that's obviously going to be something that weighs on that kid forever, I would assume. But yeah, so he was arrested. Obviously he's not, hasn't been convicted of anything yet. But there was a lot of people like, has this guy been found, or what's the story here? Mm-hmm. And I don't think that the card shop owner or the dealer or whatever is looking to press charges. So I think that, I guess I don't really know, but I assume that this is going to kind of blow over. Is that how you guys took it?
Dan's down here says that the state is still prosecuting.
Oh, is that what the story is?
That's what Dan says. Which
Dan? Vintage Dan?
Vintage Dan, yeah.
All right. Well, he's a lawyer, so maybe he's been following it.
Yeah. He better be following it. That's content for him.
All right. We'll look for Vintage Dan's video on this to go over all the ins and outs of the case. But
it's on you now,
it's just, this is like Steve said, I mean, there's always things you can point at with this show. Like, man, I wish the lines weren't as long, or this or that or whatever, but it was a great time. I mean, it was a really good time. And even for Hamm, serious money you're spending to go out, really hang out with the guys, to hang out with folks, and didn't even buy a card, So I've heard a lot of people say like, man, before I even buy a card, I'm going out there to do this. And it's not for everybody. I'm not saying it is, but it was.
If you go in with no target, I didn't have a target. If I saw something crazy that I wanted, I'd pay up for it. I don't have a problem with that because I may never see it again. But at the end of the day, I didn't have a target. I didn't say, oh, I need this specific card. And it's not one of those rooms that you can be like, I'm going to go look at 3 other vendors. We would talk about it. Because when you go back to the one before, it's gone. Like everybody's looking for something and they're hungry and they're at the national. They're willing to pay up for it just for saying they bought it at the national. There is an upcharge that goes along with it.
And that's like me. I didn't buy any sports cards. I bought 2 unique pop culture cards that I liked. And I spent less than $600 probably. I put a video out since the national talking about a crazy story and a super lucky situation that I kind of fell into. I'm not going to tell that story all over again. If anybody wants to see it, they can go back and watch the video. But
there you go, Steve. Mark.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Push him to the video.
Well, I mean, it's just a long drawn out story.
No, don't talk about it. Video.
we get a lot of questions probably about it if I talk about it. So I
Yeah.
answer in detail anything that anybody could want to know in the video.
That was kind of the best case scenario for a redemption, that you never got.
It was by far the best case scenario.
Yeah,
normally you hear about I got 20,000 Panini points and I got whatever, some random auto or whatever.
I did not in a million years. Like I took that up to the desk to find out if I was going to get my redemption, if or when, and that was it. I didn't take that out to the show to think I was going to get anything for it. And what I ended up getting out of it was just, I couldn't have gotten any luckier. I really don't think I could have.
At this point, buy another redemption, put it in the thing.
David, I have not been out to Austin. Actually, there's a trip kind of possibly on the horizon. Brad, the comeback card investor, just moved to Austin. And so we were talking about going to a Texas game because Arch wanted to try to catch Arch, before he heads to the NFL. But yeah, so I might be heading out to Austin, but I've never been to Austin. Been to Dallas, but never been to.
I want to go to a Dallas show. I know me and Lou Rock had talked about going to a Dallas show together, potentially even this year, maybe towards the end of the year.
I feel like we got to do Dallas at some point again. Like that's the first time I ever met Steve. The first time I met Steve was at that one, was at 2021.
I want to go back to Dallas because I just want to see some more of Texas. Like I want to go to Texas on like a vacation and see some stuff out there. I've never spent much time in that state. So I really want to do that. If I could line it up with a day or two at a Dallas card show, then that would be perfect.
The only thing worse than having 4 colonoscopies was waiting 3 hours to get into the National. Just kidding. Can't wait till Detroit.
Did they vote on another location after the next?
It wasn't up for a vote this year. I asked.
Because I know it's Chicago, Detroit to Chicago.
I think next year. Yeah, it is. It's Chicago, Detroit, Chicago.
Do y'all think that they're actually outgrowing that place, or do they just need to be better with, let's say, using the space properly?
I think they've outgrown. I think they've outgrown Stevens. I don't think it can handle that show. It's not about space. It's just about we're how many years in and the Wi-Fi still doesn't work correctly.
Well, I feel like it got worse this year than it was last year. It
was 100% worse this year than last year.
Definitely worse. Again, the spacing upstairs was still not proper across the place. You can get rid of that stupid international candy thing on the other side, put it somewhere else, like outside. Use all that space for something else. I know they talk about the whole fire marshal crap. It's not that damn difficult. So I hate it when they throw dumb stuff out there that I actually know about, and when they're complaining about it, it's not a big deal. And they have a whole year to figure it out, so it's so stupid.
We'll touch on Bargain Boxer's question or comment.
Yeah, go really first. Quickly. I'm gonna go after you, Steve. Yeah,
we also got to get to Neo. We didn't get his take on the National. So
yeah, nobody cares about my take. Apparently, it's fine.
Yeah, I do. Neo, see, I'm thinking about you. Yeah. Anyway, you could say this about any show. To be fair, Bargain Boxer, there was overpriced cards. People were kind of pricing with future baked in goodness with a lot of the cards because the market just tends to keep going up and up and up. So people are kind of already pricing those percentages in, but there was also some deals. You had to look for them. There's a lot of tables at this show. So to say everything was overpriced there would be false. And to say everything was reasonably priced would be false. And I'm sure you can make the statement for probably a majority of the card shows that you're going to go to. So this is just a bigger show. So it's on a bigger scale. And everything's going to scale with the National. You're going to find the good and the bad at the National that you find at every show. It's just the National so big that it's just going to scale to the size of the show.
I don't know if it was just my perception, and Neo, go after me, but it felt like there was, again, maybe I'm missing it, but it seemed like there was bigger cards at this National than at previous Nationals. Like it felt like the inventory was more expensive. I know the inventory naturally has gone up over the last 12 months. A lot of it has, but still it felt like a lot of tables just had big cards. There was a lot of, I'm not saying there wasn't mid-sized cards, but the dollar box guys, I saw them there, but I didn't see, it felt like there was less of that and more of mid to high end is what it felt like.
Yeah. And that's a good point. Cause at one time I did say to Hamm, I said, I feel like every time I look in, I was getting annoyed by it. Actually. I was like, I feel like every time I start to look into a showcase, the starting price is $2,000. Yep. I felt like from showcase to showcase and showcase, it was the cheapest card in a showcase. You weren't finding anything under $1,000. I didn't feel like, again, there were tables and things spaced out throughout. I'm not talking about it in entirety, but sometimes you would just go along and be like, man, is there any cards that aren't triple digits in this show? And you would find them. But like I said, because there's so many tables, and people are going to bring their biggest, nicest stuff to this show, right? Because, like I said,
this is their show. Yeah, correct. This is the show.
So I was at RBI Crew. Neo and I go there a lot, and they had all their big cards out in their showcases. Their showcases were filled up, but they had lots of inventory behind the table, and people could ask them if they had cards of certain people, and they would be like, "Yeah, let me look in my." Or do you have any lower end? Say for instance, they sell a lot of wrestling cards. So say for instance, you're looking for Cody Rhodes cards. They would have their highest end stuff out, but you could say, "Hey, do you have any Cody Rhodes cards in the $20 to $50 range?" And it would be like, "Yeah, down in these boxes, let us pull it out." And you can look, kind of like that. But anything that was displayed in most of the showcases, because people have limited space, is going to be their bigger cards, just the way it was.
All right,
This
Neo,
is the first
fire
year
it off.
I did not buy anything from RBI Crew at a national.
Yeah, I did.
Remember when we first went there, because it's like one of the first tables we stopped at. It was basically no trading and
No PayPal.
And
I was looking to buy a card, and they were like,
they weren't taking
nah.
any inventory either.
They're
Not
like,
when they
nah,
first
I
opened.
can't. It was just weird to me that a table, and I get it, like first day of the show, but that card that I was looking at 2 days later, it was still sitting there.
Mhm.
And it's like, they were like, nah, cash. We're not doing PayPal.
Yeah,
Like,
I think they learned a
Okay.
lesson potentially this year from last year, because I think last year what it is, they sold out so much inventory immediately. They literally didn't have hardly anything left towards the end of the show because it all moved the first day. And I think they went into a different ideology this year, and maybe didn't work out for them as well as last year. I guarantee they made more money last year than this year, because there was still a lot of cards.
I'm not like RBI Crew had cool cards. I just didn't have anything that I like wanted.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot. Like I usually go there to buy wrestling cards, and there's not like a ton of wrestling stuff that I'm really looking for.
That's what it is. They
because I
weren't
have
buying,
most
they
of the
weren't
key
taking
things.
PayPal, and they weren't trading. Like
they were just like, we got cards, give us money.
Dealer? Yeah,
They're like,
you're a
give us
vending
cash.
machine. Yeah,
We got cards, give us cash.
Yeah, and the only card of mine, like I showed them the Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton dual auto, and they inquired about it with the owner because the owner is a Randy Orton collector. So, but he said that he already had it. So they didn't want to deal for it for their table, but they would have dealt for it if he wanted it for himself personally. And yeah, we always go to RBI Crew, especially Neo, and we like to look for some of the unique stuff, and we're into some pop culture stuff. If you're looking for more unique items, that's usually one of the booths you want to hit up first, because they're not just strictly sports. You might find some good high-end pop culture autos.
Yeah, they usually have like 6 to 8 cases of WWE, and then like another 2 cases of like really nice pop culture stuff typically.
And all their sports is really high-end, it seems like.
Yeah. Dustin, I thought you did get a card at the National. You said you didn't buy anything. Didn't you get the Sylvester Stallone?
Oh no, I got a few cards at the National. I just didn't get one from RBI. I
thought you said earlier in the video or earlier in live that you didn't get any cards.
Oh, maybe I misspoke. I meant Hamm didn't.
Yeah, no, I didn't. No, you said Hamm.
I thought you were referencing you, and I was like, wait, no, I thought you actually did get a couple.
No, I got a few things. Yeah,
Dustin bought my Michael Jordan card. That was it.
I agree with Brad right here. This is also going to Fanatics Fest. Women with Pelican cases. Women walking around with Pelican cases. If we look back 5 years ago, going to the National, when I first 5-6 years ago, whenever the first one I went to, nowhere near as many women. And there actually was at this show. Not just moms and girlfriends. They were there too, for sure. But I mean, there was actually women buying, selling, dealing, all that stuff. So
yeah,
Jelly Bean's bringing them in.
Jelly Bean.
She better be there next year at this point. She's now putting herself into the hobby.
I'm going to go. If you guys have nothing to do on the 22nd, there's a Collecticon in Charlotte that I'm going to go to on one of the either Saturday or Sunday. But Sports Cards has got to figure out how to get that. The Pokemon is probably like 60-40, like 60% men, 40% women. I'm not saying that we need it's like 97-3 right now in sports. Maybe it won't be 60-40, but
I think it's going to be hard with majority of cards are obviously all men. Obviously, the WNBA table, Steve, when we were looking for Sophie Cunningham stuff, that was like the only table that had completely all WNBA. That was swamped around there. It was hard to get into the table. Like it was really hard. So it's there potentially for a little bit of an opening, but I think the greater version of the hobby, like how many women are going to be like, I need a Babe Ruth. You know what I mean? It's just that they'd rather have a Pikachu. You know what I mean? So,
well, I think because it's such a large show with such a huge crowd, that the supply and demand for WNBA was there to make that table busy. You know what I mean? There wasn't enough
Correct.
supply, and
Like from a
there happened to be
female
enough,
standpoint.
you know, because the show was so big. Now, if you had like 20, 25 tables of WNBA, they probably wouldn't have all been. You know what I mean? If you wanted WNBA cards, you kind of had one place, maybe two, that you had to. There was stuff scattered throughout showcases, but I mean, primarily there was like not.
Yeah, well, you have to look. Yeah, it was too hard to look for.
Yeah, so there was enough people there at that show that were interested in it to keep that. It kind of reminds me of Dallas back in, I guess it would have been 2020.
Or 2021.
Dallas, the F1 crowd, like when the F1 stuff, and there was a couple tables with F1, and so they were packed out with people, but that was because they were the only couple tables with the F1 stuff.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton of F1 at this show for sure, and most of it was in the international section upstairs.
That makes me think of back to, man, this is going back in time, and we're actually going to talk about this guy coming up. Actually, Neo, you're going to have to confirm this for me, but when you're talking about, the one or two tables that have these cards, it makes me think about Justin Spidey Hits having all the Marvel cards at like in Atlanta. Yeah. And I remember his table was so popular. It was he timed that perfectly.
Oh,
and now literally Justin has a card shop. Like he's evolved into, and I think the comic book that we're going to show in a few minutes. Actually, let's just do it now. Let's knock it out. I'll go ahead and share screen.
Well, both times I went to Atlanta and I set up with Marvel the first time and Pop Culture the second time, and I sold lots and lots of stuff.
Yeah, you did really well in the
Marvel. I wasn't always mobbed. It's just that I had stuff that no other tables had.
Yeah.
All right. So Neo got in just at the right time. And look at this. It's a PSA 7.0. Sets the new record for a 7.0. Not like the highest price for an AF-15.
I hate that
but
label.
My immediate question for Neo is, are you cracking the CGC and sending over to PSA now that they are completely taking over comic book rating?
No, not quite yet. Not quite yet. It is a good sale for them. The owner has actually come forward. It's someone in the UK.
Yeah.
And
I saw the reel where he's like, it's 4 a.m. and I just bought a comic book.
Yeah, he commented on the post that I made about it, saying that this is mine.
But wasn't this Justin's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was Justin's. This book walked into his shop raw.
But is this the one? I thought that he traded for a copy of this book going back years ago.
He had a copy, and I think he let that one go. He had a low grade copy.
Come on,
I don't
Justin.
know if he still has it or not.
I thought he held on to that one and he sold this one.
He might have. I don't remember.
He better still have one of these being called Spidey Hits.
But he had a low grade copy. I think it was like a 2.0 or a 1.5 or something. I don't remember.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. All right. So
you can see Neo cards and comics.
What card I've noticed? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I just saw Neo in the thread over here on the right hand side.
I found this kind of interesting.
We're live, so it's
a card that I've noticed today that has gone up about 30 to 50% since the national across multiple grades is the 1931 Walt Disney card.
That card has gone up. Yeah,
that card's gone up a lot.
I think since everybody's been talking about.
I got that a while ago.
With all the big hype
we were
around
talking about that.
Disney. Did you see some of the prices on the Topps Chrome Disney cards at the National? I was blown away because I don't follow the modern Disney stuff, and I was like, do people really pay thousands of dollars for
that stuff's getting pumped like PMG's got pumped?
I'm just saying, like the Tier B and Tier C characters sell for big money, but I think that Disney market is trickling back now into some of the vintage stuff, and that 1931 Wills card
stuff is being attacked by the other vintage collectors that are now targeting non-sport. Kind of what they did with Superman and Batman. They're just going to the next bigger figures because they've been pumping Snoopy, Charlie Brown, obviously any version of Mickey Mouse, the two versions, especially in the first, the gum set back in the 30s, because you have your first Mickey Mouse card with Pluto, and then you have the one with Walt Disney drawing Mickey Mouse in the current form that we know him as. That's also how they refer to it. It's not the first Mickey card. It's the first Mickey card in the form we know him as. Mm-hmm. So, again, we're playing nuances again.
I mean, I bought that 77 Topps Luke Skywalker. It ships in a PSA 7 in May, and that card's doubled since I bought it.
Going on, Graham. Yeah. That whole Star Wars run of those main characters, every one of those cards are going to trickle up. Like behind Luke, you're going to have the Han, the Leia, the Chewie. Those are that whole set's going to be a set that you just want the master set of the individual key characters from the movie from that set.
Well,
and then the next thing that's going to happen is the Wonder Bread set.
the on card, the Harrison Ford autograph on the 77 tops now has surpassed the Hamill.
There's
I
less
think
of
it's just
them.
because there's less of them.
There's way less of them.
I mean,
And-
well, regardless of why, it just has.
Well, yeah,
That's why Hamill still signing at conventions about once or twice
nonstop.
a
What did he
year.
sign that card? He'll sign it for what, 1,100 now? I think is what it is.
I think it's like 600.
But still, I'm saying I comped that card at the National because I was interested in getting a different Harrison Ford auto, and I was like looking for reasonable comps, and it was around 2,500. It was about the same price as the Hamill. I just watched one end at auction the other night for like 43. So, and that's an authentic auto, authentic 10 maybe, but it's not the card's not graded.
Some of the autos on that 77 Ford don't look that great because he signs over his pants.
Yep,
And if he signs in blue Sharpie, it really makes the auto look like shit.
But still, I mean, he could sign more of them, but I'm guessing that he's not going to be signing as many as Hamill is. And Harrison Ford's getting up there in age; he's probably not signing much at all. I had noticed, like I was talking about that Disney card because I comped some of my stuff before I went to the National, and I noticed I have it in a PSA 7. And it's around it was around $3,000 prior to the National, and then one just sold for like 45. So that's where I'm seeing like a 50%. But I've seen the PSA 5s and below are selling in the thousands now. And I remember when I bought my PSA 7 for $750.
I was down on that card. I have a 4 because I look back at it. I'm like, do I have a 4 or a 5? I have a 4, but I remember I was down like $100 on it for like a couple of years. And then now it's like, it's like doing its thing. But I'm like, I remember just thinking like, well, I'm not going to sell it. I love that. Like, I got to keep that card. It's a great card.
Yeah. Well, I remember when soccer cards became popular, coming out of the pandemic, and everybody was buying the new Prism, the modern day Prisms and stuff. And if you went back and bought the old stickers of some of the greats, they were not expensive at all. They became expensive, but it's kind of like, has something been around for a while? When they put out a new set and draw attention to a certain genre of card, people then can, type, especially if it takes off, they get curious and they're like, okay, so if this new modern stuff is out, do they have a rookie card? Do they have an older card? Things like that. We love Prism and we love refractors and we love numbered cards, but do they have an old card? And it always tends to catch late, but it worked that way with Marvel also. Like the old Marvel stickers and stuff finally started to move when this top.
Yeah, but somebody had to talk about it. That's what I'm saying. And that's the firm version of getting pumped.
So much money has
always been there.
Yeah, but what's causing people to talk about it is the fact that new products are coming out.
No, because Gary V. If you don't bring it up in that format, and those people that follow him and literally will buy anything he says. Right?
The 1975 top stickers, Hamm, they remade that set in the Topps Chrome set this year as inserts.
And you said in what, 70 what?
75.
So how many years has that been around and now it's popular?
But that's what I'm saying. The Topps Chrome product came out and made those cards as retro inserts, and then people started looking for the originals.
Else is pumping it.
It also has a lot to do with people not knowing something exists. Believe me, because I've dabbled in pop culture cards enough to realize that people don't even know certain cards exist. I don't even know certain cards exist, and then when people find out, it creates
like the Spider-Man rookie card.
It creates a hype. You're right, but it creates a hype for something that people want because you don't know you want something until you actually know that it exists.
What don't you know that exists that you don't know that you want until somebody tells you it's cool?
I didn't know the 1931 Walt Disney card existed until I saw one. And when I saw one, I bought one.
That's true. I can give you that. I mean, I've known that card's been around forever, but I just never cared to own it because I don't really care for Walt Disney himself. That's a personal thing on me.
That's the thing. I think a lot of it is discovery. I'm not saying all of it. There is some hype. There are influencers that pump product. I'm not going to say that there's not. But what I'm also going to say is that discovery is a huge thing. I know because I've capitalized on some of these pop culture markets. For instance, there's a Walking Dead autograph, the first season, and the Andrew Lincoln, which is Rick Grimes. Okay, that's going to be popular with people who like that TV series. But what a lot of people don't realize is that's the only autograph card he has with his hat on.
Yep.
The people
that's what makes that one special. I agree.
That card draws a premium, and a lot of people collect that. A lot of people specifically aim for that card, and and it's popular already. But what happens when more people come into just learn period,
No,
that there's
and
Rick
I agree.
Grimes
But
autos
as,
out
like,
there.
for instance, right now, I'll give you some pointers out there in the
But
world.
these are
For
collector's cards,
everybody.
Ham. These aren't hand cards that people are buying
Correct.
to really flip.
Well, I mean, you can go buy Optimus Prime rookie card right now, pretty cheap for what it is. If you're going to start going with high-end IPs that have a massive amount of appeal that people are following, that people haven't bought yet, and it's going to keep going because the people that bought the Mickey, they're going to start buying this and that, and this are going to follow all the way back to the main things that people have always liked.
But you would need something to
IP.
bring Transformers to the mainstream, whether that's an influencer talking
have, like,
about it,
7
or whether
movies.
maybe Topps Chrome someday decides to put out, hey, we're going to put out a Topps Chrome Transformers or a
I'm
Topps
sure
Chrome
they would
He-Man
love
set.
it.
Ham's buying
maybe
them all
it
and
takes
he's
a
going to pump
movie.
it.
Quiet.
You know,
quiet
maybe it
down.
takes something like a movie or something like the new Master.
The trick is to put all of them in your cart and buy them all at the same time, and then create a frenzy.
And then Ham's going to load up showcases. He's going to strategically place them in showcases and cards.
The reason why a lot of these cards draw premiums is because they're being bought by collectors. Anything that's being bought by a flipper or a dealer to resell, they're not going to be willing to pay.
But I think there's
for
people
it.
that are doing like what Gary Vee's doing, where he's trying to time the market and get into the next thing before everybody else gets into it, and then stack on some of those and then sell out, because that's what Gary does.
So you were with me at a national a couple of years ago, Ham. I can't remember which. I want to say Cleveland. But on the last day, I walked up to a table and he had some pop culture cards and he had some Nintendo cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, have you ever seen this? And it was a Topps Alan Ginter, Charles Martinet. And people may not know who he is, but he's the voice of Mario. He's the voice of Luigi and the voice of Donkey Kong. So when you hear on Mario Kart, the sounds, here we go, and it's a me, Mario, and all that stuff, that's his voice. That's the sound of a lot of people's childhood. So I asked the guy, I said, hey, have you ever seen this? And it was a Topps Allen and Ginter, Charles Martinet autograph. And he was the dealer. He was a dealer there. And he was like, I didn't even know that card existed. He was like, how much do you want for it? I said, it doesn't sell for a lot, honestly. I said, the last one was like a $60 comp. I said, to me, it's not even worth selling for $60. He was like, dude, I got to have that card for my collection. I want that card. I'll give you $100, which is almost double last comp if you want to sell it. And I was like, sure. And he gave me $100 bill for it. And you were with me. You probably remember that transaction. Mm-hmm. So that's somebody not knowing that a card exists and immediately finding out that it exists because they want it for their collection and the nostalgia value to it. They're willing to overpay for it.
I agree. I just, at that point, that makes me feel like with the modern day of eBay, I can look up anything that I've always ever loved and have it pop up, because you can just type in a word in card. And eBay basically will focus any word card and give it to you because they like the card market better than anything else they sell on eBay anymore. So I just find that as people can find anything they want now, and it should never be hidden unless it's some foreign weird soccer card or rugby or something that we don't even pay attention to over here.
And the weird guy with the Punisher logo's back. What do we do there?
Sanderson Orr. That's the guy that I'm dating his wife. It's Eric. He's one of the guys on the for the hockeys. But yeah, I just see other avenues that are already getting ready to go up and follow this cycle, because it's just going to happen. No matter where we're at, we're in a cycle. And I don't know when that cycle's ending right now, because I keep seeing a new level. My concern is after about a year of the repetitive crap that we're going to get fed to us, and we get the full licensing for everything, and nothing changes because they know they can keep feeding the algorithm the same crap and nothing's going to change, that at some point people are like, okay, I'm done with this. All right. Or I'm not willing to take this chance anymore, because the prices are going to keep going up until we stop paying them. Same as for grading. It's going to keep going up. Everybody's like, oh, value's coming back. Well, if $50 a card for bulk at 100 cards is value to you, sure, it's coming back, buddy, in 2028. And all these other companies that are trying to get their foot in and come up, they're going to get a foot in and come up. Or will they sell for the same? No, but they're going to get a lot of business they never would have got before. So you're going to see the Rudy Alpha Investments grading and stuff like that really take off. I've already seen C3 grading take off here out of Florida. So it's just like, there's nowhere to go, and people would rather have their card in a case with a 10 than raw, just for the idea of I could always take this later and possibly turn it into a PSA 10. That's where we're at right now. So I just think with PSA not being able to get cards out and do what they need to do, and their backlog getting worse, even though they're technically almost closed, like, you're just opening the door for somebody else to come in and start creating value for themselves. It's just a bad space to be in. It's my opinion, though.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Hamm just went off. Absolutely went off.
The hammer.
Off the script.
I got distracted at eBay looking at auctions. All right, let me get back to the chat.
Oh, that reminded me.
I
I
could tell that's
had
what
an
you were
auction that
doing
might
based on
have
your
been ending,
eyesight too. You were using that Neuralink to try and buy cards again.
I was working.
Got an auction that might have been ending during this live
There
stream.
is a 77 Harrison Ford ending in an hour and a half.
What's it at right now?
2K.
How
That's the
much?
thing too. Starts at 2K. It starts at 2K.
Oh, you mean with the auto?
Where are people getting all this money from?
2K
I
with
just
an
feel
hour
like
ago.
it's. I just feel like it's
nobody has a mortgage.
late.
I just don't like the auto on. It looks like with the vest and the pants. It's just the auto.
blends
I got a
too
question
much,
for
yeah.
you, Neo. Though, Neo, I do got a question because this is a legitimate question that I would ask myself. So I'll ask you and see what you think. You have a stellar pack pulled Harrison Ford.
Sure do. It's right here.
Now, what do you and you would prefer
Oh,
that
beautiful.
to a 77 tops, right? Signed.
Yeah.
I mean,
I bought this first over a 77, so yes.
right. But what I'm saying is, there used to be a day when that wouldn't even be a question, right? We would immediately say, "I'd rather have the pack pulled." But I believe there's becoming a market in certain cards that have just authenticated autos on them.
I think it depends on the card. Like, I think
Yeah.
if you're speaking specifically Star Wars, the 77 tops, yes.
Yes.
I mean, I'll give you a perfect example of that. The only Hamill auto that I own is on a 77 tops.
Yeah.
But part of that is he did not have great at the time that I was hunting. He did not have good on-card auto options. Like his stellar auto was a sticker, and Topps didn't have the license then when I bought that, so there wasn't a lot of Hamill autos in circulation.
And I've always said
there's more now, but
yeah.
a lot of they're all sticker, and some of them are of him in the sequel trilogy, which is I don't want a Hamill auto as him as Old Man Skywalker. You know,
no, I want Hamill as the way that I really remember him from back in the day.
Yeah.
And
so at the Cleveland National, that's
right.
when I bought the Cleveland National is when I got my Hamill. On
Yeah, I've always said,
actually I just put my entire collection in Card Ladder this week.
Even before they got really valuable, I always said that I would prefer the Hamill as an authentic on card on the 77 tops over any of his pack pulled stuff. Now I'm starting to question on whether or not I would prefer the Han Solo, because Han Solo is always my favorite character anyway over Luke Skywalker. I'm not just Han Solo, but I'm also a Harrison Ford fan. He's one of my favorite actors ever. That's why I love the Indiana Jones stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why that's one card I didn't talk about in a video because I haven't done a video on it. But that's one card at the National that really nails on the chalkboard.
Blame the vendor. Blame the vendor.
I don't even want to talk about it. The vendor could have. The vendor cost himself a $3,000 sale or whatever I could have negotiated him down to because I had the cash to buy it. But that's a whole nother story that I didn't tell out of the National. But yeah, it just so happened the one dealer at the National that seemed to be the biggest butthead was the only guy who had a card that I wanted. Hey, that's the way things work out sometimes.
Steve, I have a question for you to flip it back around with you. So these two cards are within a couple of $100 in price of each other. What would you rather have? The PSA 7 without the auto or the authentic 10 auto? The PSA 7's at this is about $2,800 and this is about $2,700. So they're within like 100 or 200 bucks of each other.
I'd rather have the auto.
I think I'd rather have the auto.
I actually think so. I don't think it's a hot take. I think the auto is actually undervalued. Like this card has shot up, the regular version, and this one hasn't really.
Yep.
Like I think people are sleeping on the auto because
and then the autos, the actual autos that do have grades on them, even if they're low, even draw a premium on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now it's weird because the Hamill sells for, mine's a PSA 7, sells for the same as the authentic auto 10 or close. The Ford, a PSA 7 of the Ford is like $500-$600. But that's goes back to what we were talking about before. There's not as many Fords on the pop report, I imagine. As
now, just you showing those, and maybe it was just the lighting. I feel like the color on your auto version is brighter, popped more than the color on your PSA 7.
It don't look like it came out of a garbage.
No, I don't know about the rest of the
You're
car.
right. It does.
The actual color.
I've never actually really looked at them that close. It does.
Yeah.
It's a little more washed on the 7.
Yeah, it's a lot like
in the face, especially. You can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the 7's really clean. Like the centering is great. The corners
Yeah.
look really. It's a very nice looking 7. But you're right. The color is different on them.
Rob, what's the pop count on the Luke auto right now?
Give me
With
a
those
minute, I'll
Spidey
look it up.
hits? We were talking about you earlier. You came coming running right in. We are trying to figure out if you still had an amazing fantasy in your collection.
I'm pretty sure he sold his low grade one.
So also,
That's weird. That's weird.
Don't be upset, Eric.
On the coattails of talking about that dealer, Dustin, because you actually mentioned it in one of your videos. You didn't tell the story, but you referenced it. On the coattails of that Walter Payton card's gone up.
The Walter Payton card?
It's gone up since the National, since I didn't sell it, since I didn't move
even in that crappy SGC slab.
An SGC 8,
the centering, man, the centering on
eBay,
that one.
Yeah, an SGC 8 on eBay just at 17. So he was trying to value my 8.5 at 15.
The centering's tough on that one, Steve.
So I took that. I took that to a vintage dealer on the older side of the show, where like all the vintage and stuff is at, just to get their opinion and to help me. Brad was with me. Brad actually had the connection for this.
In there right there.
Brad had the connection for this. It was like, hey, let's take this over to a dealer that I know, and maybe he'll be able to give you an idea on how to value this. And he actually recommended. I know a lot of people in the comments are going to be against this because they don't agree, but he actually recommended for me to Mike Baker it, because he said that the front of that card looked flawless, and the reason why it's an 8.5 is the centering on the back. He said the centering on the front of that is as good as any copy he's ever seen. So it was an option. I was going to run it over there during the show to see what was going on. Now that I have the card home with me and I had the whole thing go down with the Topps exchange boxes, I'm really not looking to move any of my stuff. In fact, now I might add another vintage card. It's just the one that I'm least attached to. And if I was going to free up some income and make a little bit of money on it, that was going to be the one I was going to let go. But now I still have it. I don't regret having it. I still wouldn't mind selling it.
It also made sense for what you were trying to get with the pop count and stuff like that. That made sense. It literally made sense.
Basically what the dealer was trying to do, everybody in the chat, was, even though my card was an SGC 8.5, he was trying to tell me it was a PSA 7. Not the value of a PSA 7. He was just trying to tell me this card, if it was graded by PSA, would be a PSA 7. And I'm like, so when are, what about, and mind you, he had strong SGC vintage in his showcase. I saw Willie Mays with a $30K price tag on it. So it's like, you can't rewrite the grade yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, it was like, it was no negotiating with him.
Just a bad dealer. It's a bad dealer. He basically upsells his cards in the case, and when you hand him a card, he downgrades it.
Classic,
even if it's in a
dealer
case
mentality.
Yeah,
old school, like you need to throat punch him is what he needed.
So I have the pop count on the Luke. What do you think the pop is on a Luke auto 77 tops? Like, what's your
1,200. 1,200.
The pop on the Luke?
Yeah, the auto. Just total pop, not grades. Just total slabbed PSA auto 77.
Isn't it? It's around. Man, I think I'm getting it mixed up with the Ford, because I
have the Ford pulled up as well.
I pop counted both of these at the National. I think with the Ford was in the 600 range, right?
No, way less.
Way lower.
Okay, so it was a Luke that was in the 600 range.
Way less.
It was?
The Luke is 199
on the autos.
Yep.
I thought I
PSA
saw
DNA.
He's got a signing coming up. I guess I'm gonna have to send.
I thought I saw one of those around the 600 range.
The Ford is 100.
Because I pop counted the Ford. Because I also pop counted the Ford on an Indiana Jones card, authentic on card auto, but it was on an Indiana Jones card instead of a Han Solo card, and it was the Indiana Jones, the set that the green card that everybody likes.
There's 106 card 58, which is the Harrison Ford with the gun drawn. That's the one everybody wants. 106, and then the Hamill is only 199, which I actually thought it was higher than that too.
I know the pop count on that Raiders of the Lost Ark cover card was 3. So, yeah,
I'm surprised it looks that low. I'm guessing that'll probably go higher because he did do a signing like a couple of months ago. So there's probably some of those sitting at PSA, but that's not cheap.
Everything's
He
sitting at
only
PSA.
signs at like one convention in California, and it's pretty pricey. And that, you know, you're talking like $500 plus for the signing, plus you have to wait in line forever and then jump through the PSA hoops to get it graded. I actually bid on one on Fanatics Collects like 6 months ago that was signed with an inscription, "May the Force be with you." And I was like, if I bring this down, I'll sell my other one. But it went for a crazy amount. It went for like 10K or something wild.
Well, see, the dealer I went to, his sign says buying high-end vintage. And that's basically all I really was buying. And when you look in his showcases, he had high-end vintage. He had good cards, good grades. And then he had that Harrison Ford Raiders of the Lost Ark autograph card. It just stuck out.
You brought him that low-end vintage.
This doesn't belong in this showcase. And I thought I would be able to make a deal pushing my Walter Payton with some cash for that. He had it stickered at $3K. Which now thinking about, I mean, I still think the Han Solo is even if the pop is lower, the demand for the Han Solo is more so than Indiana Jones. More people are just on the Star Wars franchise altogether, the Han Solo character. But I was willing to give him what the Han Solo Star Wars card was going for, which at the time
when he was messing with that Asian kid over the Shohei, and the Asian guy was like, "I already have 3 of these cards out of 10." And you're trying to tell me this is worth this much, and he's like, "I already know what it's worth. I have 3 of these."
Basically, the percentage he wanted to give me was the last PSA 8.5. Walter Payton did 3,600, and he wanted to value my SGC 8.5 at 1,500. I wanted to value it at 25, $1,100 less than the PSA. That percentage I thought was still really fair, considering it's a vintage card and not a modern card, right? And he wanted to value it at like 1,500, which is what the value was last year. And not only has the Walter Payton card increased, but that the market as an entirety has increased since last year. That's what the card was worth last year at the National. He wanted
Dustin,
to give
can
me
you
that
pull my screen up real quick?
Yeah.
So this is the one that ends in 2 hours. This is what I don't like. Oops. This is what I don't like about this card is how the auto disappears
through it.
Yeah, like it's just I want to own a copy of this card, but I would be so picky on the auto. Like I would not.
What are the other colors he signed it in?
Most of them are in this color. I did see one.
What color would you want that in? Because if you get it white, it might get washed in the white.
Let me see if I could find the one. Let me stop sharing.
I want it in a color. I want to
I saw
there was one that sold the other day, and I wish I would have been more on top of it. I think. Let me see if I could find it. It looked really good.
I saw a Luke 77 top signed with the pale blue, with the pale blue pen. That looks like this highlighted comment here.
Yeah, so this one actually has. It looks like it might have a little. Yeah, this one has a smudge on it.
Over time.
Yep.
This is the one I think I would want. If you could share this one, Dustin.
But Neo, I do have a question. That card is worth at least what the PSA 6 value is worth, but do you think that the PSA 9 brings the auto down, brings the value down?
Possibly. I think as long as the auto doesn't look jacked, people don't.
See, that one's with the lighter blue.
Yeah, this looks way better. This auto's smudged though, but like generally speaking,
I mean, they put it in the holder. Color. They put it in the sleeve too fast. You literally have to let those out. Dry.
Oh yeah, it looks like
when we signed our cards the other day, like there was one that we smudged because it was like the last one, but like when we were doing these, the off-centered cards, like that's why I put them on the table to let them dry. I mean, you have to, otherwise it just won't stick.
Were you able to get anybody to take those from you, Hamm?
Well, I mean, I have a few people that I gave them to because they gave me a personal card that they made specially. So I gave them one back. Other than that, I know Lou Rock and Orlando wanted one.
That wasn't one of the ones I colored my face in on, was it?
No, I still have both of those because those are kind of cool, to be honest with you. That might be something we do something with later. I did start working on a different one because I have one of those fancy little gold cases. So I've been working on a solid gold one for us. But those are hard because the only way to get those gold cases, you got to buy the cards that have those type of cases, and then you got to rip the card out of it.
I don't know if Michael Golden is in the chat tonight, but I want to say I'm rocking my Invincible Summer.
There you go. I had my shirt on earlier today when I was out.
T-shirt.
I had the one from Reindeer Studios.
Yes, Mott's. The blue label means it was just the auto grade. They switched to that fairly recently.
Yeah, a lot of people just do auto grade and won't grade the card, which I personally would rather you still grade the card with the auto, to be honest with you. Like, I still think that means more. I don't care what the damn grade of the card is. Just put something up there.
I think you want the card authenticated, in my opinion.
Well, I want that too, but I'd still like to know the grade of the card because I see some of these autographed cards. I'm like, that's a good looking card. Like, why would you not grade the card?
Yeah,
mine's
authentic auto 10. Mine would probably be like
anything higher than a 5 is great.
I don't know what this would probably be like in the 5 or 6 range. Like the centering's pretty good on it. The corners.
Yeah, centering
basically, and what I think with that, Neo, is that basically that card is people are valuing at that card for the auto strictly.
Mods, yes, that's true.
Where if it had a grade on it, you're going to at least get what that card would be worth in that grade with the autograph value on top. Kind of like that.
Yep.
Kind of like that Han Solo we just saw. So even if a PSA 3 is only worth like $300 or $400, I think it probably makes that card worth that much more.
And I think that's a product that a lot of people haven't caught on to yet. Like, you'll see that next wave happening where the grade plus auto will be more popular.
Unless people think that's unless they just look at it, and like I said, buy the card, not the grade, people might look at that and be like, man, this is actually a really nice copy. But I still think at the end of the day, having it in a slab, they're probably then at that point going to want to get the card.
I think that's going to be the future of people cherry picking authentic autoed cards, that people are trying just to rush it through the authentic part of it and then getting that graded and still being a mid to high grade and then adding a massive multi-X on that card.
Yeah, I think that would be the case for pretty much any card that's worth more graded than in a raw state.
Yeah, because we're in a place in the hobby where like, oh, well, I have a 7 that's authenticated auto. Like, that's going to be a big deal versus just an authenticated auto. It's going to create a 5X probably.
Well, because the 7 is going to get at least the value of the 7 plus having one, and that's such a good grade, like the Griffey 89 Upper Decks, right?
Yep. So you create a multiplier.
Yeah,
yep.
You create it. Yeah.
I think we're missing that in the hobby, and a lot of people haven't caught on to it yet. So the people that are doing it are smart, but the other people just haven't caught on yet.
PSA 13 like that.
Maybe I should start just being a card dealer. That way the hobby can hate me and I can make a bunch of money.
I got to go pump the 77 auto.
I can do it.
Neo, do you have a favorite Marvel character?
I mean, the X-Men, and then probably Gwen and Spider-Man.
The X-Men, a character.
X-Men. I said what I said.
Your favorite X-Men?
You don't have a favorite character?
It's not
probably Wolverine.
Yeah, I thought it was Wolverine.
Mine's Gambit.
Gambit's on the list. That's why I said the X-Men as a whole.
Of course it is, Hamm. All right.
Dustin and I are we didn't talk about my national pickups, but Dustin and I are brothers now in the Robert Downey Jr. Club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I didn't realize that Neo had the Sly Stallone auto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was last year.
Completely forgot about that.
So we did
I bought that on eBay actually.
We did a flip.
Okay.
So he got the Robert Downey Jr. just in time. I feel like you got the AF-15 just in time and the Robert Downey Jr. just in time before Dr. Doom and all that happens. I don't think that card's getting any cheaper.
I talked about this in my video. My only concern on the RDJ auto is if for some reason Topps would give him the bag to sign. I still don't think it hurts that card that much, but if there is just suddenly more supply, it could hurt it a little bit.
I don't think it hurts that card at all. I mean, if they didn't come out with some stupid 1/1 super fractor crap with an auto on it,
it's the OG.
Just stupid.
Yeah.
The other thing too is a lot of the top stuff is sticker, not.
It's like what we were kind of talking about earlier with, people buying the modern stuff and being like, oh man, did he have an older one? You know what I mean? And also along the lines where we're talking about the Hamm drawing more and being more popular than the newer autos just because of the quality of the auto and the iconicness of the card.
What they listed the Mickey Mouse one
with all this pop culture stuff going on, a card that I still think is immensely undervalued, and I'm not saying this just because I own one. I'd like to get another one. Is the Stephen King, that Stephen King pack pulled auto?
Wasn't
anybody that sees that?
There was one in the case that you got your Robert Downey Jr. out of.
Oh, that's where it was. That's right. That guy had one.
Yeah, but he had it Beckett authenticated, but he didn't have it graded.
So funny enough, after I posted that card on IG, someone reached out to me that I don't know if it was, I don't remember the backstory. He either worked for that seller, but basically that guy bought a collection off of somebody, and that collection, whoever owned it, that guy graded all his cards with Beckett authentic only, all his pop culture autos. That's why it's an authentic. Like he bought one massive collection off a guy that had a ton of pop culture stuff, and that guy chose to just authenticate auto only his
What were they
pop
asking
culture
for that
stuff.
Stephen King in that showcase?
I don't
2K.
remember. Do you remember what the
2K?
is that a
2K.
good?
What'd you
I don't know
pay
if that's
for
a good
yours?
price, bad price.
The last BGS 9.5 Auto 10 did, I want to say, 2K or 2,500, but I think that the seller was either desperate to sell or something, because it was on eBay for like 3,500 OBO, and it looked like somebody offered 2K, and the guy just accepted.
Was it the one that I have,
so
or
I
the
think
other
the
one?
card
Or the
under-
one that you have, Steve?
The one with the guitar, the one that I have.
Oh, okay. The
But
one
I
that
showed that
have,
one.
there was another one, the one I have on eBay for a long time at like 3,500, and then now it's. I just looked and I don't see any of them. On eBay.
I showed mine to Jeff, the pop culture guy, Jeff, and I was like, dude, I'll show you this, but it's not available. And I showed it to
Dustin
him.
got a stolen auto off of, isn't it?
I was like, I just want to show this to you because you're somebody
Jeff's the man.
Jeff's
yeah,
great.
because I was like, you're somebody that'll appreciate this, and he was like, man, I was like, yeah, it's not available. Like last year when you showed me the Indiana Jones card, but yeah, he was pretty hyped about it, and a lot of people, it's not the one that's the hardest to pull, but he was like, oh, and it's the one with the guitar. So I guess I don't really know because I don't pay attention to it that much. I guess amongst the pop culture world, they like the picture with the guitar. And he was like, these are just absolute ghosts, is how he referred to them. Now, I did see one at the National, but really, you don't even ever see them on eBay anymore.
And David Snyder's been dropping it like it's hot.
Congrats to Justin on his sales. Justin did he also sell PMG or no? It
didn't sell, didn't hit reserve.
That was his though, that one of one from 17.
He's a partial owner of that card. He does not own it fully.
Is that the one? Is that the original one going back?
That's the one that he had at Atlanta.
That was a while ago. Okay, I thought for some reason I was thinking he had an earlier version of the one of one. Like is there a 13 and a 15 too for Spider-Man? The one of ones or no?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, so 17 was the first one. All right, cool.
Dustin, when are you going to join the AF15? You beat me on the Downey. When are you going to join the AF15
feel like,
club?
Dude, I was buying PSA graded comic books because I'm like, okay, if they're selling at a discount, then I'll take the PSA slab all day long because they're great slabs. And it's like the company's obviously good, so why not? But now Justin just blew that out of the water with the 7.0 sale on gold, and now all of a sudden PSA is in demand. They're chic.
Well, I have a question for you on the other end of the spectrum. Then, if PSA, so CGC is, the big grader in comics, and PSA is a big grader in cards.
Yep.
If you can say I would buy PSA in comics for the discount, could you also say I would buy CGC in cards for the discount?
Yep.
It depends on which card you're buying. So
It also depends on what you want to do with it.
Yeah, it really depends. For me, because I'm long-term holding a lot of things. When it comes to trading cards, I'm going PSA all the way, even if it means I'm buying a lower graded PSA slab.
But you could always buy the CGC and turn it into a PSA slab.
Could do that. Yeah. I'm not necessarily against ever buying a CGC if it's like Neo says, it's like a great price. It's like way discounted on a great card. I've been looking at a lot of those 96 Japanese Pokemon, no rarity cards. And yeah, if I'm getting a big discount on CGC holders and I can switch them on over to a PSA holder, then that would be would be an example of a card I would do that.
Which back is rarer based on color on those?
On what?
On the 96
Pokemon.
Japanese?
Yeah, the 95, 96, yeah.
Oh, are you thinking of the top sun ones?
Well,
you're thinking of the top sun ones. Yeah. No, you're thinking of the Top Sun promos.
I guess.
Those are
a green back. There's a blue back.
Yeah, the blue back, no
back.
Numbers. The blue back, no numbers are the most rare.
Okay.
So I showed you guys in a text message a CGC slab that I just bought, and it's an insert it's a 1990s insert because we all know that stuff is getting popular. I think it's still got to trickle into a few more players. I do think some players, especially in baseball and football, still are going to get their day in the sun, and that could be a long shot. It's just my thinking right now. And that insert that I bought is numbered out of 280 or 1 in 288 packs. So, and super tough grade, big die cuts and things like that. Those in the PSA 9 are like worth the last one's a sell in comparison to the one that I bought. I bought a CGC 9 almost for raw value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
now, these 1990s inserts out of these skybox metal.
That, and you bought a guy that is, once they let one of them in, they're going to let
him but
what I'm saying
is basically you can get a CGC 9 for almost a raw card value on that card and those types of cards and those 90s inserts, but those things are tough to grade. Anybody thinking they're going to buy a lot of 90s inserts and get really high grades on them, that's just not going to happen. Like those cards have lots of chipping. They're older,
lots of errors, especially
they
when
stick
they
together in the packs.
They grade hard.
But I mean, look at a lot of the 90s inserts that we see selling now on the big names that we saw that kind of dominated the national, like the Jordan and the Kobe inserts from the 90s and stuff like that. They sell for big money, low grades. What would be considered to be a lower grade, right? 7s.
Yeah, 7. Yeah.
7 sell for big money overalls in those cards.
Sometimes even
I do
5.
think that there's potential on some other players because these inserts, you have to do a lot of research and look at which inserts were really rare back then and which ones weren't. And that's really what I've been spending a lot of my spare time doing is researching inserts between 1994 and 1999 and looking at the ones that are close to like 1 in 300 plus packs.
Yeah.
That haven't caught the wave that we've seen a lot of these other ones catch. Now they do got to look good. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how rare it is. If it's a shitty looking insert, it's not going to make a difference.
Steve, you should look at all of them and then like which ones cross over, like which ones does Dan Marino have? Like look at all the Michael Jordan versions and say like, okay, what does Dan Marino have for these?
I just bought 6 of the same Dan Marino card.
Yeah.
6 of them. And
because Marino has a good market.
I only need one of them to grade a 9 or a 10.
Yep.
I'll make all my money back for what I bought them for raw. This is so parallels, refractors and raves and all those things from the 90s. Refractors are really the ones, but I think there's a really undervalued parallel in one of the 1990 football sets. That's 1 in 192 packs is the parallel. Not a refractor where they were like 1 in 12. Not an atomic refractor where they were 1 a box. This is a parallel that was 1 in 192 packs. A parallel, not an insert, with a 120 card set, which makes the pack odds of pulling a specific player 1 in 23,000 packs.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
that's the stuff people don't realize. Yeah, people don't realize.
And again, like we talked earlier, Hamm, it's all about people knowing that. People don't realize how rare these are. And I bought 6 of the Merino a couple days ago.
There's a whole bunch of noobs and scrubs in the damn place running around. They don't know this, and they're going to look backwards in time.
Badass looking insert too. Like I wouldn't buy it if it wasn't a good looking card.
No, I'd be targeting all that stuff too. Like I mean,
there's a bunch of noobs and scrubs.
Damn right.
Hamm,
who do you think's watching the professor right now outside of me and Neo trying to run the chat and make sure people are getting the proper information? We got to deal with everything else going on over there.
Oh my god. Oh man. Oh, I'm so distracted. Sorry.
PSA.
There's a card I've been wanting.
Having to open their doors with reasonable prices.
Is it ending soon?
There's a guy no. There's a guy on IG that just reached out to me. This is kind of like a blessing and a curse of having a YouTube channel. You kind of throw out there what you're looking for, then people will find you with that, and that's what's happening. So now I'm like, shit, I need to figure out how I'm going to buy.
You mean they're not gifting it to you?
I do that.
No, yeah, exactly. They're not.
You haven't got the Rolex yet?
But it's such a cool card. So I got to figure out now how I'm going to. I'm going to have to go get a 7th job and go and make a few extra dollars for cardboard.
Just dig into your box, sell something.
So earlier,
sell anything. Nothing leaves.
No, it's right now.
It's like a steel trap.
Anything unless it's.
I've sold some things, and each time I sell it, I'm just like. But it's like stuff that bought it for 300. There's a couple Jordan. I sold my 88 Fleer PSA 9, the the 88 Fleer Jordan, the All-Star, where he's going up for the dunk.
Mhm.
I have it in a 9. I got it a few years ago for $300, and now they're like $1,700. But I let that go, and I'm like, damn it, I don't want to sell that card. But
It's a tough
I
one
was
to
a
get
little
in that
sad about
grade.
getting rid of my Scoring Kings, but when it went from $600 to $6,000,
yeah,
I
$6,000.
know, it's funny. I just watched somebody pull one of those out of a pack the other day because they were busting some of the old stuff.
It's a great
I was like,
card,
"Oh,
but yeah, that's that can
he
go a
pulled
lot
a
of
really
different
nice
places.
one too.
what
Really nice.
sealed it for me was walking around the National and seeing about 7,000 of them.
It's
in
not a
cases.
rare card. It is not a
Yeah.
rare card.
Every case
all.
that I walked up to had one
Yeah.
in like a
Yep.
PSA 6 to like
So
8.
if you opened a Fleer Series 2 jumbo rack box, because they didn't come in regular boxes, it was like a display that was 2 levels and then it had 2 sets of packs going through it. You got 2 to 3 Scoring Kings per one of those. And that's not a massive set. So it's really easy to actually hit the Jordan. It really is, for what you pay to get into it and the potential to get out of it, especially if you can pull a nice one that's not bricked. Which there's tricks around that now if you watch the old Kirk piece. I noticed somebody up here was talking about the YouTube monetization thing getting changed, which
I
is
missed that.
interesting.
No,
When I was
I
going
heard
in,
about it. I heard about it,
Well,
but
I was forced to agree to a bunch of stuff today on my
yeah,
YouTube.
I did the same thing.
I was
It
like,
doesn't
what am I
impact us
supposed
because
to
we're
do?
already monetized.
Correct.
It's just it
So-
only impacts the football card dad channel. So I got to get I
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
get to work.
You better get monetized. Actually, it does impact us. We will not get monetization on shorts anymore.
Correct.
Oh,
Which is funny because they're pushing shorts and they don't want to give you anything to push shorts.
I've never
You
done 'em.
need
Yeah.
you need 10 million views in 90
Correct.
days to get paid out on shorts, even if you're
Correct.
already monetized. So,
Yeah, it's
which
stupid.
I
Is
mean,
anybody in our space getting that? Like any one person?
Jeff might be.
No, I guarantee
Ryan
if
might be.
No,
That's
not
about
90
it.
days. Not that. Not
No,
10
you
million.
shorts get like a bajillion views.
I haven't seen anybody with 100,000 views on a short.
I
from
feel like
sports
shorts are really just more
I mean,
of-
I have a short that has a couple 100,000 views.
yeah, shorts
over
are
90
more,
days.
Shorts are more just like a
I
market.
mean, they got a lot of them in the first.
I mean,
90
I
days.
have 500,000 views on one video, but that's not in 90 days. That's in like 12 years.
Nah, shorts are weird.
I know they're weird, but it's like you have to hit the thing virally properly, and it's just one short that'll do that.
I bet you
Not
Jeff
continual.
100% hits that, because the other thing too is that like
Gotta be pictures of
a
his
lot of these
wife.
creators, you don't need 10 million on one video, but they'll post like 16 shorts in a day.
I got you. And every day
They add up. They add up fast.
Kind of what I'm trying to do with my new Instagram thing, which is actually I'm rolling really well. Actually, I was
Nobody
kinda
does
early on the
shorts
Cooper
for
Flag thing.
nobody does shorts for money. It's just for exposure. Yeah, the
Correct.
shorts are just to get you hopefully viral exposure, but they're not paying out.
Yeah, 'cause
I
with
I
my
think
new
in
Instagram, I'm
sports
just trying
cards
to
that's
cool
true.
stuff.
There are some niches that people do all they do is shorts.
Well, and if you're
And they do
selling
make a lot of
something,
money.
well, and
Yeah.
where they really sell is if they're selling a
Ads.
product.
Yep.
See, because then they don't care. They're not worried about what YouTube's paying them on the short. They're going to sell. I mean, if Kim Kardashian does a short, she's going to
Oh, yeah,
make
it's
a bunch of
different,
money
yeah.
just for posting the damn thing, and then for the sales behind it. She's not worried about how many what her view count was to get paid out on a short.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
So
Brad Nobles.
Jeff's most popular shorts, I pulled it up real quick, are like 1 million plus. His most popular one is 21 million. He
How old is it,
normally
though?
is getting, like, I'm just looking at stuff the last few days, anywhere from 24 to 80,000 views on a short, and he's posting about 2 a day.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's the thing with shorts is a lot of times you just don't see them because we're not watching shorts, so it doesn't give them to
Oh, I
us.
scrolled right.
But a lot of
past
these
it,
big
'cause
creators are posting multiple shorts in a day. We just never see them.
Like, you're not gonna teach me anything. Keep moving.
I'm not sure if there's a comment at 1013 that says JGNZ3KP. I'm not sure what that is. He just says backyard not breaking down pack odds on 90s packs. I don't know if he's trying to do some research on pack odds. I use tradingcarddatabase.com, TCDB. Every now and then you might run across a product where it doesn't give you the absolute pack odds. I'm actually looking at it right now because I'm looking at the Skybox Premium basketball from 1998, the Soul of the Game inserts that sell for lots of money.
Lots.
And they're 1 in 18 packs.
Yep.
So by most people's argument, that's not very rare. They're just very popular because of the look of them. I think it's kind of the urban look. They kind of look like spray paint. It's just a cool looking, innovative insert, which the 90s were very innovative. Because coming out of the 80s, you didn't have inserts. That was something that was introduced in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I think with cards just being cool now, and some of the higher, most sought after cards in the ultra modern being like kabooms and downtowns and stuff, it's starting to drive value back into some of the older inserts just because of how cool the cards actually were. They were cool cards.
They are cool cards.
But what I'm,
look at you, pirate.
And that's not saying that a 1949 Jackie Robinson Bowman card isn't awesome. Also, you know what I mean? They appeal to different people in different ways. I believe old vintage cards just have a lot of character. You look at the picture, you look at the condition. They tell more of a story, and that's where I find my value in vintage, and what makes me like older cards like that. But then also the 90s inserts and stuff like that. Those are my teenage years. That's when I was buying a lot of packs and things like that. And
see, like this and the bonds.
And if you go back, there was
the
some
first year the elite
really neat
cool.
cards.
Yeah, that's pretty rad, Hamm.
Yeah, this is the first year. This is the second year elite, and this is when they actually like literally looked cool. But the first year was kind of flat, didn't really do a lot, and then they made these, and these are like wow, like these really hit. What's funny? It's like 1 in 10,000.
HB Cards has a good question, and I might have an answer that might make a little bit of sense.
Well, hold on. Let's.
Okay.
Brad has been patiently waiting for our answer here. Brad Noble coming out of the national.
Really quickly, Brad, we sat in a car for 14 hours on the way back from the national. You couldn't have asked this question then.
All right, so you had 14 hours to hear Steve's. Neo, what is your one goal for the rest of the year coming off the national? It's kind of broad.
Recoup financially because I've bought an AF-15 and a Black Lotus this year.
Yeah.
So you need to buy more Pokemon is what you're telling me.
No, I need to sell Pokemon.
But you got to buy to recoup to sell because you see the price increase.
Yeah. I mean, I bought 2 things this year that I never thought I would own in my entire life. So I'm good. I'm survive. Get to 2027. That's my goal.
All right, Hamm.
For me, this is a very easy answer. It's very simple and it's very broad, and it's going to almost sound like a cop-out answer, but for me, it's just to have more fun. Because my 2025 and early 2026, like I said earlier, I just kind of lost the fire. I just was
lost that love and feeling.
I was just doing other things, and I just want to have more fun. I'm having a blast right now going back and looking at 90s inserts, even if I don't buy anything. It's fun to research them. It's fun to see what was still there. Yeah. It's fun to start looking for the value again, like I used to do when I used to buy and grade and flip cards. I'm feeling that again, and it's right in my wheelhouse because these are cards that I remember getting these cards out of packs. So it's easy for me to think of, oh man, I remember that insert. I'm gonna go back and search it. A lot of people are just discovering them. I'm rediscovering them. So, that's pretty cool. And I'm having fun with it right now.
Well, for me, it's easy.
And that includes content too. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that includes content too. That includes trying to get a little bit more content out and having fun with that. It's just fun in general.
More days,
whatever I do with it.
More content. All right, Steve is committing a lot tonight, and I'm glad that he's completely back.
Woo.
For me, this is easy. For the rest of the year, I just want to take it all in. I want to be present as my New Orleans Saints march through the rest of this league.
You're not even going to be
Tyler Shuck. Hamm, can I finish? Thank you.
Arf.
Tyler Shuck is going to pull a Drake May from last year and shock the damn world. And so I just want to be present for that with my boys and, just have fun with that. All right, Hamm, you're up.
Actually, I want to consolidate most of the crap I have sitting around and behind me here into just better one-time stuff. Try and get a little bit smarter, follow, the breadcrumbs to the trail that everybody keeps leaving, and try and get ahead of a few things and really consolidate. Kind of like how the guys here, they have very specific big cards. I've never done that. I've always done a lot of little things, and I have a lot of little things that have gone up quite a bit. Maybe they used to be $2-3 cards. They're $15-20 cards now. I don't care about them. I'd rather have one good card, but we're also at the peak of a lot of things. So I'm going to come in from the backside there and collect a few things people aren't ready to get to yet, and then just kind of wait for it to catch up to it and just get some nice solid pieces to enjoy that I can invest in and I feel safe in at the same time.
Yeah, I mean that's what I spent a
10
lot of this
seconds
year
left on an
doing.
auction. I'm trying to win.
What are you trying to win?
My goal this year was
I'm
to
not telling you.
move into
Damn it.
bigger, like less is more.
Yeah. Well, that and very liquid type of stuff. I know I gotta get more fishing videos. Calm down, people. I did put fishing in the back of my video because someone was giving me shit about that, and I did put 5 minutes of fishing, even though I didn't catch anything. But it wasn't the point. I put the damn fishing in.
So someone actually kind of answered the question that I was going to get to in the chat, which I kind of agree. That's kind of how I was going to approach it. Anyway, I saw a question where someone asked why Topps Chrome can't make, here it is, HB cards at 1020. Why can't Topps make inserts like the 90s inserts? You know, that was 25 to 30 years ago, and they've regressed. And then at 1023, Julius Corkish kind of answers no competition. And I believe that is a big thing. You had so many companies, and all of them, you know, had different people in their creative department, right? So you had so many companies, they were all competing, and so many people with different ideas.
You know what? M. Hain 11. If that's what it takes for us to go the distance, that sort of scandal with Kellen Moore and Schefter, then so be it. So be it.
The answer is they're cheap and they don't have to. That's the answer. Because if you go look at what Upper Deck tries to do nonstop, they do a fantastic job with trying things. They really do. They go out of their way. Everybody else does not go out of the way to do a damn
But that's the
thing.
thing. There is no everybody else.
It's their throwbacks.
Well,
it's their throwback autos. The ones for Barry Bonds on the baseball side are awesome. If we're giving them some credit, but it's all
we're not getting these anymore. And this is like cut through. This is like looking through blinds.
Yeah, right? And you know what's funny is that
it was
in
the
ultra
90s,
modern.
It
In ultra modern,
this isn't hard to do. I can do it with the damn Cricut.
You can't recreate that magic.
In ultra modern, how hard is it though to move a die cut in comparison to a non-die cut card? We went through this with the Bryce Young Gold that I had. People kind of frown on die cuts, but when you go back and look at some of these awesome
this card's hard to make
inserts and stuff, it doesn't make it. It doesn't matter. The Jordan inserts doesn't matter if they're die cut or not. Like it's.
One Piece does have some nice card. I went down a Dragon Ball Z card like rabbit hole today, and there's some wicked Dragon Ball Z cards.
Like how hard? Again, this is where I get mad at manga, because if you added that foiling to a manga card, or like you do basically in all kings or in all aces,
the hammer of negativity today.
I'm not negativity. I just want more. I expect better.
Yeah, One Piece.
I'm sorry, they're attractive.
I can't see it. Is it Dragon Ball or One Piece?
That was
One Piece. I don't have any Dragon Ball. But like the way that they texture them and do the foiling is just like so much better than sports cards.
Yes. And it's like, how hard you're telling me you can't do that. Somebody else is doing it just fine. I mean, look at Kakawa versus regular Prism. It's the same thing, but nicer. Somebody else is already doing it better than you. And you're telling me you can't do it? You're full of shit. You're just cheap. This is the only difference.
Actually, an interesting point here by HB Cards, because they're so tied in with the leagues, and there is an expectation there. Everyone's getting paid for those autos, for the relics and all of that. Mm-hmm. But it's actually a good point, though. Think of all the money that is being spent for that. And if that was put towards whatever, you know, some
I mean, the counterpoint to that, though, is
I'm going to
that
talk before him because he takes forever.
They
throw and that's coming from me, who takes really long.
Hold on. Let Neo jump in, Steve, first.
Yeah, he can go first because I take long and Hamm takes forever.
I was going to say the counterpoint to that is that they could take two little gold logo men of Otani and slap it on a card, and it's an $11 million bounty, and it sells way more product than a cool insert does.
Yeah, but that's one card for one person, though.
But they don't care. They just care about the box price.
So it just goes back to they don't care. It's about making money.
Thank you.
Well,
I mean, they are a for-profit business.
I know they're going to be on the market soon.
Yeah. Well, also along these lines, I was also thinking about how in the 90s, in fact, we talked about the 91 Pro Line set. Dustin touched on it. And then it wasn't until like 98 that I don't believe autos started being inserted in packs, and it was mainly rookies. There might have been a few earlier than that, but they're few and far between. So it's kind of like when you started getting autographs in packs in the late 90s, it felt really special.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Getting that autograph, you're like, holy crap, I got a Skybox Autographics, right? I got a Fleer Mystique auto. Like I pulled an auto. It really felt special, which nowadays it's so common to pull an auto that it has to be a top-notch player for it to even be like exciting.
Yeah.
And even now,
and even then,
right?
Yeah.
And along the same lines, you can relate it to game used jerseys. I remember the upper decks, and you're like, man, I got a piece of a jersey that's freaking amazing. And it was game used, and they were actually even said what game it came from. Now it's just random stuff, and it's so flooded that I think that is what is also causing the drive for the inserts, is that autographs, it used to be the inserts were like, yeah, these are cool, one in a box, these are neat, whatever, but I just pulled an auto, man, it blows this out of the water. Now I feel it's like the other way around. I feel like the autographs are so common that now it's starting to make the inserts feel special.
Yeah. They feel fine.
And I could be a bad take, but I feel like
you're good.
But I feel that I kind of feel that way about it.
Would you rather have an auto to 199 or a card to 1 to 10?
How do you feel about
it? Now just have an awesome looking card as opposed to just a card with a signature on it, because the signatures aren't as special as they used to be.
Steve, how do you feel about Luka Doncic? Baseball card curmudgeon announces that the Lakers were sold. I saw this headline too for 12. Talk about a flip. Bought for $8 billion, flipped for 12. Here, I just saw this today.
Yep.
What does that make the Cavs worth, Neo?
Dan Gilbert's going to do quite well when he goes to sell the Cavs.
Well, all these teams are going to do well.
Yeah, they're right now they print money.
If you've owned the team for longer than like 3 years, you're making bank.
JG, and he says plenty of garbage autos from the 90s. So that's not true. It's not true. Like if you may be talking about players, yes, there might have been garbage autos because the players just aren't worth anything. But
there's more autos in one product today than all of the 90s combined.
1998 was when autograph pack pulled autos pretty much hit. So you're already 8 years through the 90s before they hit.
Yeah.
So there's 2 years. Now, you had the 91 Pro Line set, and that was very unique to the cards and photos themselves and the autos themselves. And they weren't made by Topps or any of the big – they were made by Pro Line, who was licensed, the NFL license. It wasn't like, they made the jerseys and jackets and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they were
basically what, 97, 98 is when we started seeing
right, they weren't Topps, Don Russ, Fleer, the actual card brands back then. And it wasn't until 98 that playoff contender tickets – rookie auto tickets went in, and then some others came in. Like I said, there might have been one autograph card in a set randomly in like 97.
Well, Upper Deck would do the hero set.
The Upper Deck Heroes, yeah, but
that was
not complete full-blown autograph checklists.
Yeah. Yeah, and those were, I think, the 2,500 for the Upper Deck, but they also printed 2.5 billion boxes of it.
This is a good, Crazy Kev makes a good point, and I'm going to be right back on this point.
Joe Montana's wife had an auto.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what. Wait, let me see if I can
get the girls back in. We start getting some wives back in.
We need the wife autos.
We need Eric wives card.
What do we have? Let me see if I can pull it up. Pro Line portraits. What was her name? Was it Jennifer Montana?
Yep, sounds right.
Jennifer Montana. Auto. Is it there? Let it be there. Come on.
Let it be. Let it be.
It's there, but it's one of those aftermarket ones. Oh no, here we go. Here we go. Wait, is it the seal?
Look for the seal,
dude. We got 24 hours. Hold on, let me share screen.
$35.
It's actually the bidding is at 102.50. Look at this card.
Oh, shoot. That's a tough one.
There's not a more 90s card than this.
Nope.
When I watch
it, flip it over. Look at the flip too. I mean, the front of this card's fantastic.
When I watch games, I try to figure out if Joe
with her jeans on.
When he throws a pass, was it to be hit first, second, or third receiver? If he threw an interception, was it a bad pass or a poor route? Jennifer Montana.
Bam. Look at
so that Crazy Kev, he says before that comment that 90 autos weren't scribble like today's. And here's an example. You might be able to pull this up online, Dustin. You have me blocked by the comment.
All right.
91 score dreams. He did have autos.
the Jerry Rice, which you own one too, Dustin.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
the glare on it, but the Jerry Rice, the auto on the back, he signs Jerry Rice. Nowadays, it's like a J and a line.
Yeah, it's not even a real signature.
I think
anymore.
there's something to be said for a card that was signed in 1992, or like 91, or it was actually signed
Playing
back
days.
then.
Yeah,
It was
Playing
playing
you
days.
won't find him like in the new stuff. He doesn't sign his full name out like that.
Dude, that I don't want to, whatever, but that is such an underrated set. 91 Proline portraits.
and like
And you can
everybody
get this for
signed
under
for it.
$100, I think. These are like
Literally-
under $100 for the Jerry Rice and his immaculate and flawless. They draw a lot more. I get it; they're premium cards, but this would be his first pack pulled auto, and it's the full signature. There's just too much value there.
And I'm pretty sure every card has a signature in the set. Like that was the only set that one of the few sets I know of that every player has an autographed card.
It's pretty wild.
Like we're gonna take a picture of you. We're gonna print this thing, and you need to sign it so we can stamp it.
That would actually be a fun set to complete. I'm sure the checklist is
It's-
long.
Yeah, there
It's
used to be
probably
a guy.
400. It's probably
There was a guy at a
400
local
cards.
show
For the
here when I
Proline
was looking
set?
for the
Yeah,
I was looking for the Brian
to get
Cox
the
for
autos.
Steve.
And then there's
Yeah.
some people that might be like their only auto.
Correct.
I know now. I'm not sure how many autos Derek Thomas had, but I know the Derek Thomas auto out of this draws a pretty
Quite a few.
decent amount because he was a great
Yeah.
player. Was he inducted into the Hall of Fame after he passed
Yes.
away?
Yes.
And he
Oh,
just
was he?
doesn't have
Yeah, he's in the Hall of
the
Fame.
pack pulled stuff. He
Mhm.
passed away before it became, the market got flooded with pack pulled autos.
And that's back too when some of those guys were in what were those pants called that were like kind of chopped in color. I remember the Buccaneers. There was the orange and white. That they were wearing some of those popular
You
stylized.
mean like the big baggy ones, the Jinkos?
Yeah, like the Jankos, but they were team colored.
Zubat.
The
Oh,
Zubat.
the
There you go.
Yeah.
Some of those guys are wearing those, and
They are.
I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
come on,
I think
dude.
like
You
Icky
can't-
Molina's
Woods-
wearing
Icky
Zubaz
Wood-
on his.
There you
Icky
go. Yeah, you
Woods,
can't. Yeah, I mean, you see that, and you're just
Yeah,
like, oh
Zubat.
shit, man. If he's wearing
Zubaz.
a shark tooth cap, we're in, man. You can't beat me on that.
There's
one.
not a more 90s set than this one. It's so
No.
good.
No,
It
so
even-
reeks.
good.
It
Yeah,
reeks
even-
90s.
It reeks. The second series didn't look as nice as this one, for sure. And then that's why I did the throwback to Brad, the sports card guy in the Proline series I made.
Better favorite that one, Dustin.
Yeah, I'm all over this. Jennifer Montana.
Let me pay for my.
I had me
auction
some
that I just won,
Zicavaricci's.
boys.
Ricky,
When's
I
the
had
new auction?
Zicavaricci's, 2 pair, and those weren't cheap back in the day.
I guess I got to do a video now since I've been buying some cards.
Man, you're gonna make me bust out a photo from like 1996 now, aren't you?
Got this 1999 Skybox Metal Universe Diamond Soul insert. I'm not going to tell you of who.
Show it up. Show it up.
Nope.
What are you doing? You can't be doing shit like
That's
that.
all I'm going to give you. The Diamond Soul insert.
See, here's a nice card I need to get graded right here.
But see, this is kind of crazy. Look, okay, so let me pull this up. Are these all 91s? All right, hold on a second. Let me just pull this up.
I just need the Manny Ramirez pump to happen, and then I can retire.
Oh, good luck, buddy. He's tied in with the boys that took the juice. So good luck.
So's Barry Bonds. This shit's
Sir,
gone nuts.
Check it out.
He was a different animal.
These are
He did the
playing
juice right.
days. John Elway, Steve Young. These are all these all have the seal. Like these are all
Yeah.
good.
It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. The pricing on them doesn't make
And
sense.
you look at it and you're like, what? You know,
It's-
like
I mean,
for
the
how much
cards look
like we talked
the
about
back of the
earlier,
cards
man.
look like
People
shit,
just
though.
don't know about them.
the cards.
It's
What are you
it's the
talking
idea of-
about?
Like
We
they don't
talked about
present
vin-
well. Like it's just not a good looking card to
Listen,
like
there's
have
ugly
like on
vintage
display.
cards.
These
too.
are the first pack pulled football autographs in existence.
The
Like,
autos
what
way
better
back
story
is
is
his
that?
downfall,
It's-
kind of, but that's it.
Screams 90s
What better story is there than that?
Yeah, the auto's not even on the front of the card.
because you don't want
That's
to
even-
ruin
that
the front of
adds-
the card.
That adds even more to the lore, of it.
Even though there were a
I
few
mean,
guys that
clearly it
did
doesn't
sign the front of
because
the card.
look at the prices.
King K786 says these cards are ugly as hell, but that's what makes them so great.
That's
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 correct.
what makes
They're-
them great.
they're
They're
awesome.
so
Yeah.
they're so like 90s and throwback ugly that's what makes them great.
But
It's like
here's the-
Beavis and Butthead are so stupid. That's what makes them funny.
Here's the problem though, is if you go like if you look at the front of the card, I guess this one's actually okay, but like Elway's is all right. You could do it on the front, but like a lot of them are dark. Like it wouldn't look great on the front.
Wouldn't look good at
either,
all, yeah.
really.
Wonder what's the most expensive one of these that has sold whatever eBay would show you.
It might be the one that I got from
It'd be-
Steve Walter Payton.
I wouldn't be
The Walter
surprised if it was
Payton one's
some
nice.
weird person. I wouldn't be surprised if it was some one off.
Why are my cameras all?
Let me
I don't know.
see.
You're all blurry and stuff. It's like I've been drinking.
I don't know what happened. Whoa. I know
Oh,
that
shit.
after I turned it off, and then when I turned it back
Steve's not
on,
wearing pants. Oh my goodness.
Thank God.
It's a good thing.
Mine falls. I am not wearing
I
pants.
just put them on a minute ago. I'm trying to wipe the lens off.
Hamm just said, "Thank God he's not wearing pants."
Well, yeah.
I'm wearing shorts.
It's warm here in
Quads
Don't make
Florida.
me motion sickness. Jeez Louise.
It's Belichick and it's Walter Payton. Hold on.
Okay. I was
Yeah, the
Belichick.
Belichick signature is just printed.
Yeah, he just wrote Bill Belichick.
Oh, and this one's
Muhammad
DNA.
Ali's are cool because he signed him in both
Okay, that's
names.
DNA. Yeah. To see how
See,
Walter
there are a
did.
lot of,
Walter did do
uh,
some on the front.
Isn't there a lot of like weirdness with this card where like they were
So,
signed like after the fact?
These
Some
are
nonsense?
examples. These are examples of the after the fact.
Yeah, they won't have
Okay.
the seal.
Yeah.
It'll physically have that seal pressed into the edge of the card, the corner.
I
Yeah,
remember seeing shit about that
like
back
you
in
took
the
something
day.
to the
It's
to
right
the
here,
notary
yeah.
and they notarized it for you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because it really doesn't damage the corner of the card. It's
Yeah,
really
you can see
weird.
it. It's right here in this corner. It's tough to
Just
see
enlarge
it,
it
but
for us.
That's how the Jim Lee X-Men autos are in
Yes.
the 92 set.
Yes, same thing. They
I
did
mean,
that with a
these-
few
I think
things.
these are cool for people
Playoff
who
did
want
it
an
too for a
autograph of
while.
a football player and they can't afford the really expensive stuff that's out now. You can get these for like half the price. Like I think you can get the Dan Marino 91 Pro Line auto for like $120. And you can't buy a Dan Marino like flawless or anything like that for $102. I get you might say it's a higher end premium card, but still.
look
there's
at
a lot
we're
of-
influencing.
A lot of Dan Marino
No,
flawless.
we are. We're
Yeah,
doing great.
actually,
We're partnering.
We're
the
influencing.
James Gandolfini has the stamp on it too.
Yep.
There's a stamp on that.
Mott's just got a Linda Seifert, George Seifert's wife, for under $10.
There you go. I think Warren Moon's wife's in this too.
Business in the front, party in the back with the
That's what I
auto.
like about it. And didn't Bosworth have assigned one of these as well?
He might.
He probably does.
I think the front of the card's him with the mohawk.
I don't know if Bo Jackson does. If Bo Jackson did, that would be
No,
a good one.
Bo
He
doesn't.
doesn't because we would know about it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, that would be
why?
fantastic.
But why doesn't he though? It's kind of
The
weird.
Deion Sanders is another one because Deion signed very small on that.
Yeah, I have the
Signed in
Dion. I
bottom
could
one-
show
yeah,
it.
You have the Deion, yeah.
I have the Dion. The picture of Dion is great.
Yeah, it is.
I want
So
the
think
Dion.
I have Dale Carter and a few other Hall of Famers that I.
Yeah, the picture of Dion is great. But see, there's players because they pretty much made everyone in 1991, everyone in the NFL. So if you're someone that just collects teams, you can find some of your favorite players from your teams, like iconic players. So for me, I'm a Miami Dolphin fan, right? You
Mhm.
can get a Reggie Roby auto out of the 91 Pro Line. And Reggie Roby was like the GOAT punter for us like forever.
Well, he's a go punter.
That may not
Period.
mean anything
Like,
to anybody else, but if you're a Dolphins fan, you love Reggie Roby.
yeah, and he's
Yeah,
passed
you
away.
just do. So you can find a lot of the players that wouldn't even be good enough to be in a normal checklist in this set. And so you just find autographs of all kinds of random people. Yeah, I have the Dion. He signs the Sanders with the dollar sign.
Yeah, I got a Deion Sanders in that lot I bought this weekend from one of the cards I was showing you earlier before the stream started, the Pinnacle thing. And it's him on the Braves because the guy would go to a whole bunch of the spring training games and had, I guess, Deion sign a card. Because I also have a Brian Taylor for the Yankees that was a big deal back in the day, and a few other autos that are in that set that I'm gonna have to get JSA authenticated.
What I saw, for instance, and I remember this guy because I'm a Dolphins fan, and this guy punished us.
It's the
Was I
Rashad
saw a
family.
91 Pro Line, and it was a Buffalo Bills Cornelius Bennett on card auto,
Yeah.
and it was $10.
Cornelius.
And a lot of people might not know who Cornelius Bennett is, but if you're
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Bills fan,
Daryl Talley and Cornelius.
if you're a
Bennett.
Bills fan, you know who Cornelius Bennett was, and that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
cool card to own for $10.
You know, what'd be
Beast
cool
mode.
is if like the Rashad family, like if they both sign like a dual auto,
What's up, Jordan?
Mhm.
like that would actually be pretty rad.
Yeah, Felicia Rashad was in that. She was Claire Huxtable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why her card's so expensive when you find hers. But I mean, I opened a whole. I've never pulled an auto out of one of those boxes. I've probably opened 10 boxes. It wasn't like a one per box. It probably wasn't even a one per 5 boxes. Like it is not easy, and it's like a
yeah, I
36 pack box of 10
So-
cards.
As far as flipping, Brad, there was no hype around young quarterbacks this year. This is the first national I've been to in 6 years where there was not any kind of buzz, people talking about a certain quarterback or anything like
I
that.
don't think there was any buzz last year either.
There was some.
I think
There
the
was some.
year before last was the last year we've had buzz of football in general going into the season at a national. So the last two, there's no buzz. Nobody cares.
Nah, there was a little bit last year. This
I
year,
feel like there was a
none.
little bit last year. I sold stuff last year.
Well,
I sold
who was
Bryce
it last?
Young
Who was
cards.
it last year?
I sold 3,000 worth of Bryce Young last year.
Jaden Daniels was a big one last year.
Oh well, that
Jaden
worked
Daniels,
out for everybody.
Bryce
None of them ever
Young,
work out for anybody.
even Justin Fields at the time because he was going to be
I-
starting for the Jets. Like there was guys that were hyped that were
There was
longer
absolutely
shots.
buzz last year.
I didn't see as many Caleb Williams that I thought I would see at the National.
I agree.
With the hype
I
that
thought
he's
theuld be
had.
more too.
Yeah, I
Or
don't think
T
people
Law.
are selling
I
them.
felt like T Law or Caleb. I didn't see a lot of those there. I saw some. And they were expensive.
Yeah.
They were not cheap.
I think what it
but
came
they were-
down to was dealers were just jamming goats into their showcase. You only have so much showcase space at the National, and they were just slamming.
Everybody
as
had
many-
500 Michael Jordans.
In
Yeah,
behind
Kobe,
11,
Jordan, LeBron,
that does
and
have something to do with it. Bad
Yep.
QB classes recently does have something to do with it. But
I do think we're in a very bad situation with that, where we're concentrating all these new people into only these specific players, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of fall off. You might have a few guys that pick up from the Peyton Mannings and stuff like that. A lot of I think it's more of a rare insert thing, and then people falling back to that more than anything. I don't see specific players that have already retired that played during that time taking a massive run. They're all going to get bumps, 100%. But I don't see like a 70 to 150x on somebody. I just don't see it.
No, like right now, if you look at guys from that era, and if you want to go clean, right? So we're talking about Griffey in the 90s, and Griffey stuff is going crazy. But Frank Thomas would be probably the next guy when it comes to value.
He's had
honestly.
some recent sales that have popped.
He has.
As I'm hunting these
rare
inserts,
cards.
yes, as I'm hunting through the inserts that I'm looking at, I'm seeing that Frank Thomas is like the next guy that draws a little bit of money, but nowhere near Griffey.
No.
But again, McGuire and Sosa during their run, those have very specific groups that just love their stuff. Like they go hard.
With McGuire and Sosa, there's no middle ground. It's some people either don't care about the steroids and they love them, or they do care about the steroids and they hate them. There's no kind of like, I kind of like this guy. He's pretty
Even
good.
Canseco has a specific following behind him that people just pay up when you get anything rare.
It's funny you say that, Hamm, because I've been trying to buy like 10-10 autos for him for his junk wax stuff, and they're friggin' expensive. Jose
Super
Oh.
expensive. And he signs TTM for like $30.
I might just do like a PSA 9-10 on just some of the cards I really like, but because I was like, how much could it be for Canseco? A lot. The answer is a lot for Canseco.
Yeah.
He's an outlier.
Tony Gwynn gets a little bit of love because he was just a super likable player and still considered one of the best hitters. He wasn't a power guy, so everybody today is all about the home run. But if
Greg
you
Maddux,
watched him
baby,
play back then, he was a perennial all-star, right? And so he gets a little bit of love, and also the fact that he's passed away. But there's other guys that were good back then. And I don't know if they were specifically named to the steroid list 100% that just get nothing. I mean, and these were guys
like Jim Tomey's clean, and his stuff gets
supposedly.
Nothing. He's never been in anything.
Your Bagwells, your Sheffields.
Wow, Bagwell has
all noted. Pedro Martinez is already in the Hall of Fame.
What about our boy Will Clark? Remember Will Clark was a beast.
Yeah, he was a beast, but he's never at that top tier. There's like a
tier
level that just creates another level.
He was really good in RBI baseball, or one of those.
Yeah, he was perennial. He was
Juan Gonzalez is another one of those guys.
Yeah, Juan Gonzalez. What's that one card? Was it like 90 Donruss?
Yeah.
The one that everybody wanted for Juan Gonzalez?
Reverse negative.
They were reverse negative. Yeah. Like JG says, they're all dirty. So, but you're starting to see a run on Bonds.
Yeah.
Starting Bonds is
way up right now. And then if he gets in, he'll blow right past Griffey. Doesn't matter. He gets in, he'll blow right past Griffey. It'll be like
what I'm saying. It's not Griffey level.
Doesn't matter. It'll happen.
Griffey's going on the big run. Bonds has gone on a run, but he's still nowhere near Griffey. Like I'm looking at inserts right now where a Griffey Raw is going for $550 and the Bonds is going for $120. The same thing.
Buy the Bonds all day long.
Yeah, buy the Bonds then.
I'd buy the Bonds.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is there's a big discrepancy. So, for instance, the insert of the player that I just bought, I just wanted auction for $24, and the Griffey is like a $600 card. And the Bonds is like a $200 card, and the guy that I just bought is $24. Now, again, he's not liked because of the steroids. But I believe at some point there's going to be a run on some of these players, and I might be wrong. So don't go out.
I'm agreeing with you on that. I think
let me buy him and let me be right and let me be wrong.
Some of these guys from the 90s to 2000s that if you're going to look back and start really looking at stats and numbers, and people are going to realize how good they were, I think they're going to have heavy runs. They really will. Like they already have a high collectability for very specific individuals that PC that person. But when all the other people want to get in on the PC people, then there's a whole nother, feeding frenzy that happens. And I see a group of people that this over the next 3 years is probably going to happen to.
Yeah.
And God
I'm
forbid
not-
one
again,
steroid
people-
guy gets in the Hall of Fame.
People in the comments are saying the Bonds run has been going for a while. Yes, I understand, but it's not on the level of the Griffey run, is what I'm trying to say. It's a
JG,
run, but it's not the run that we've seen on other great players. It's
Yeah.
if you say that Bonds is your GOAT, which some people will argue that, some people will say Bonds is I think he's the best baseball player I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't draw Jordan prices. He doesn't draw Brady prices because of the steroids. So we haven't
just
seen
not being in the Hall of Fame.
Bonds run
Actually,
yet.
just not being in the Hall of Fame is the only thing that drives that.
Right. We haven't seen
he
a
in the
full
Hall
run
of
on him.
Fame. Nobody will care. They won't care.
All right,
They say
boys.
time heals all wounds, right?
Let's wrap here on what our cards y'all are eyeing after the National. So I'm gonna go first quickly. I'm focused on I'm gonna double down a little bit more on star basketball cards. Going back to the 80s. I bought another Jordan star, not the main four, one of the supers. And then I'm just going in on some of the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson star basketball stuff, along with vintage, a lot of like Japanese vintage Pokemon stuff, trying to get ahead of Logan Paul and the rest of the crew on the other vintage stuff that he's not talking about. That's pre-99. That's what I'm focused on. Neo?
Oh, me?
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned earlier, rest recovery phase. But I'm looking more at continuing to look at vintage Magic and comic books because those are the two categories that have not gone absolutely bonkers.
Hambone?
Focus mainly probably on some what I consider key non-sport cards to possibly get more raw than graded already, unless the price is right. And just kind of stack some stuff that I think has a higher opportunity. And then personally to get out of a lot of the low end stuff I have and consolidate that into bigger cards that have staying power and longevity in the hobby.
Steve. Well, Steve already said it. He's looking at 90s.
Yeah,
He's looking
for
at the 90s.
For PC, I'm looking at on-card authentic autos of pop culture people, whether that be music, movies, Disney, whatever, Star Wars, which is movies. But I'm looking a lot into the music still. We haven't seen a run on anything that's got anything to do with music, and everybody relates to music, which is good because it allows me to buy it cheap. I love it. I love to collect on-card autos of singers and things like that. Because typically people don't get cards signed by them. When you meet a musician in person, you typically get an album or you get a CD or a poster or something signed, an instrument.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to find a card signed by them. And when you're a card collector, you kind of want cards. So, and then for flipping, like Dustin said, I'm looking at some 90s inserts of some people that I think can make a small run. I'm not saying that they're going to be Griffey prices or even Bonds prices, but I do think there's some underpriced players from the 90s. And I still think people like myself are buying for nostalgia. And there's still room to capitalize on some of it, especially since a lot of it is rare and a lot of it's unknown. When people see it, they'll become impulsive. So.
All right, boys.
Before we
go
land the
ahead.
ship,
Go ahead.
just real quick. So our next episode is the 26th. Are we planning on doing the draft that night?
We need to
Because
schedule
we're
the
pretty
draft.
close to the season.
So the season starts on a Wednesday this year.
Yeah, it's the 9th, which will actually be the off center. That'll be an off centered night.
Yeah, August 26th is not a bad night. I mean, like, that's not too close.
I mean, we live stream it anyway, so
Yeah.
it's 2 weeks
We
before
can
the
do that.
season starts. It's not that crazy.
So the next episode in 2 weeks, we'll do the
it'll
draft.
basically just be the draft.
All right. I'm down for that. Steve, are you good with that?
Yeah, should be. I need to get 2 more
Yeah,
members.
26th I'll be good. 27th I have to do a movie night at work.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if we want to look at the. We might want to look at moving off the 9th. I don't know that we want to stream up against NFL opening night.
Why not?
Yeah,
We can watch the game.
That seems like I don't know what time the game starts, but because isn't that game in
I'm talking
Australia or
about,
something?
the degens that are in our chat aren't watching that stuff and not watching.
Yeah, but what if I
something
want to watch it?
You
give us
watch
something to
stuff
talk about.
during the stream the whole time. You watch basketball.
The first
entire
game,
yeah,
it's on
8:20 p.m. It starts,
Yeah.
so we might want to.
What's the first game? Is it a good game or is it trash? Who's playing?
Well, we're all going to watch the game.
It's a Super Bowl rematch.
Oh, it's trash. Okay.
All right, guys. Yeah, we'll figure out that. We'll
So
definitely
next live is the draft, though. That's
Good.
what
We can state what our Super Bowl teams are going to be.
next live is the draft. Okay, cool.
So football heavy show in the next one.
All right, boys. We'll see you back in 2 weeks. Thanks everybody for watching, and yeah, until next time.
See you in 2 and 2.